Good morning and welcome to today's PMB morning show. A very beautiful Monday morning from the capital city of Abuja. So much to learn about and so much to actually talk about and so much also dissect. Just like our expectation is very, very high whenever we wake up. Definitely we hope for the very best this morning. My name is Isa No, and together with me in the studio is
Apapa Anifa, thank you for joining us on the morning show at this hour.
It's great I'm waking up this morning and then coming up to see that yes, you have a Monday that is so intense and the expectations from Nigeria is very, very high.
It is actually, so we're here this morning to discuss the expectations, the happening, and also the government policies that has actually happened over the weekend.
So much. And for many Nigerians who are at home, for many of us who have actually studied the situation of things, we tend to be a bit disturbed still till this particular point in time when we see the inflation is still actually biting. We've seen so many Nigerians actually complain about the food inflation, which has actually is causing so much havoc for many families. And we've actually noted that some of these issues are issues that definitely the government will still need to put more effort to see that yes, we have food on our table. And if you realize, if you look at what is actually happening in the country today, while we are battling with the issue of insecurity, so much has actually happened.
Yeah.
Number one, the cost of food has increased.
Yeah.
The cost of housing has also increased.
Electricity
The
tariff.
cost of electricity tariff has increased. The value-added tax. So much is
So
actually happening. And are you actually feeling the bite of the economy?
I'm feeling every bit of it. It's affecting me in all aspects, from the housing aspect down to the electricity, down to the feeding. It's affecting me every aspect of it because I'm a citizen of Nigeria. I'm buying food, I'm buying fuel, I'm using transportation, so I'm actually affected one way or the other. Directly, so not even one way or the other. I'm actually affected directly by these policies that have been put in place. So we just really hope that as the days goes by, things are actually done to mitigate and reduce this crisis that has been put in place.
Okay, on several counts during over the weekend, there was an issue of so much actually happened, I know, on social media, most especially the arrest of Prof, the former NHIS boss, who has actually been a major voice on the policies of the government. He has actually criticized the policies of the government, and also just some days back, EFCC actually arrested him in his residence, and they've taken him, and still we are yet to hear from him. And also there was this upbeat about El Rufai's stand on the preparation towards 2027 elections. So for Nigerians, we have so much to discuss. Is it the issue of food you actually want to discuss, or you want to discuss the issue of politics, or is it the economy? So we are so burdened with so many activities, but then we hope to actually scale through. So we'll be going on a very short break now, and when we return, the first segment will be for Anifa Papa to tell us more what is trending on social media spaces, and also we come back to actually review some of the dailies, and then we'll go into a proper conversation on why is the Inspector General of Police still there? Why is he still active as the IGP? Many of his colleagues are actually retiring, but then the question still remains, are we actually facing another kind of extension? If it is, it will be the second time. For many have said that, well, for him, it is still legal for him to be in office. Why many have actually kicked against it, that was not actually what the Constitution says. The legality of him still being in office is put to question. So for many Nigerians, should we be expecting the president to take a major step in saying that, yes, the Inspector General of Police retire from active duty? So let's go on this break, and when we return, the social media angle takes place.
good morning and welcome to What's Trending on P&B Television, your trusted source for the latest stories making waves and across Nigeria. I am Apampa Anifa, and as always, I will be your guide through the most talked about events that have got people buzzing on social media, from viral wins to controversial government policy. Let's dive right in. Nigerian musician Tem wins Grammy Award. Nigerians are beaming with pride as Tem secures a Grammy Award for Best Nigerian Music Performance with her hit song Love Me Jeje. She was the only Nigerian artist to bring home a Grammy last night, and social media has been flooded with congratulatory messages. But while Tem is trending for all the right reasons, the video is trending for the wrong ones. Despite multiple nominations from the superstar, he went home empty-handed, and Nigerians have taken to social media to drag him. Someone posted, Tems dey collect Grammy, 30 BG dey collect cruise, make una no pain us abeg. Another Twitter user posted, if the video like, make him release Tem album this year. Na Tems go still collect another Grammy before Well, whether it's trolling or celebration, one thing is certain, Tems is actually flying the Nigerian flag high. Here we can see a Twitter user saying, God, I know we are not supposed to be happy for people's misfortune, but this is Davido's meal. You just served us failed for days. On the next one, the Nigerians are furious over the planned tariff hike. Another electricity hike is on the way. The federal government has announced plan to increase electricity tariff, saying Nigerians are not paying enough. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Special Assistant on Energy, Olu, stated that tariff must rise to about 2/3 to reflect actual supply costs, but Nigerians are not having it. Many have complained bitterly about how they already paid thousands of naira on electricity and still only get a few units. A frustrated user posted, imagine paying 1,000 naira for light and getting only 4 units. Now they want to increase it again. For what exactly? For the electricity we don't even have regularly. This country now cruise. Another wrote, Nigeria is the only country where you pay more for darkness. NEPA will take your light and bill will still increase. People are calling the government tone deaf and insensitive for ignoring the struggles of ordinary citizens. The big question is, will the hike go through or will Nigeria resist this time around? Next, we have the Kano State Governor allocates 2.5 billion naira for mass wedding in Kano State, making headline. Governor Abba Yusuf has allocated a whopping sum of 2.5 billion naira for mass wedding in 2025, and Nigerians are asking, is this really a priority? Why Kano is spending billions on weddings? Lagos State is using 3.5 billion to improve power supply. This comparison has sparked a whole lot of outrage, with many questioning the Kano State Governor's priorities. A Twitter user has actually posted, the North cannot be pumping billions of naira on sponsored mass weddings and then be crying about several almajiri begging on the street. Another Twitter user wrote, you can't be spending billions of naira on free wedding and then crying about almajiri roaming the streets. Pick a struggle. The northern governors are facing several backlash over the weekend, while the Kebbi State governor announces renovating 97 mosques and announced that he has awarded the contract of renovating 97 mosques. On social media, as people have been angry on social media, many people asking why a state that has one of the most highest amounts of out-of-school children rate is prioritizing mosques over the children's education. A concerned citizen wrote, instead of fixing schools, Kebbi is renovating mosques. Feeding the hungry children is better than building mosques, but our leader no go hear word. Another said, you renovate mosques while children are sitting on bare floors in schools. Misplaced priorities 101. Many argue that governance must solve real life problems, not religious symbolism. We have people saying, with a high number of out of school children, countless schools and needs to be renovated, but the governors are actually prioritizing a mass wedding over that and also renovating 97 mosques. That's all we have on today on What's Trending on P&B Television. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to follow us on social media platforms for more updates and discussions on the latest trend. I am Apampa Anifa, wishing you a safe and productive day. See you next time. Bye.
welcome back from that social media angle. A very delighting exclusive given to us by Anifa Pampa. A very good presentation. Anifa, you raise issues, and so many of these issues are from the reactions of Nigerians on social media. What are your perspective generally on the basic stories?
Okay, the trending one that is actually causing a whole lot of controversy right now is the Kano and Kebbi State governor. One is planning a mass wedding with 2.5 billion naira. That is a huge amount of money, and the other is planning to renovate 97 mosques. And Kebbi has like the highest amount of out-of-school children in Nigeria here, and we just feel like. And on the other hand, there is Lagos State planning to pump 3.5 billion naira on power supply so that they can generate their own power on their own. And it just seems like these governors all have different priorities. We have a whole lot of out-of-school children here in the north. At least you can even with renovation you want, on the aspect of renovation, we have schools that they don't even have seats. Their classrooms are not even well renovated. A old school compound might have just like 2 good classrooms or just 3, and then some of them, their priorities. One has the priority of mass wedding and the other as a priority of renovating mosques. Yes, I'm a Muslim, I'm not against you renovating mosques, but no, you are in governance first, and when you're in places like this, you have to put the interest of your people first. These mosques are already functioning. Yeah. People can pray in them already, and right now we need to put our citizens first, the people we are actually the people that put us in this place for us to be there. So, and I think at that time, especially back here in the north, we hold our leaders accountable so that they don't get to do some things and think they can get away with it.
Okay, I'm happy you make this presentation, and I'm very, very glad that you raised critical issues. But then let me just take you on what some of the one prof said, and Professor Abdul Nafiu said, it is really disheartening, disgusting, and heartbreaking to read posts mocking Northerners and their governors for spending state funds on religious or cultural activities. This usually gives the impression that Northerners are fools. They are illiterate and doesn't know their rights. They portrays the whole thing as if it can never happen in the South. Below is a summary of such wasteful spending by governors in southern Nigeria in the Q2 of 2023. I will not mention any state because my post is not about disparaging or denigrating any state or their leadership. Rechargeable fans, rechargeable lights, and fridge cost about 2 billion naira. Wow. Replacement of a liquid fragrance in an office costs 7.4 million naira, roughly 7.5 million naira. Renovation of St. Andrew's Anglican Church in a southwest state is 581 million naira. Welfare was 397, that's roughly 400 million. Refreshment and meals gulped up to 223 million naira. Entertainment, about 1 billion naira. Welfare package, 1.8 billion naira. Burial logistics, 78 million. Town hall meetings, 1 billion. Praise night Thanksgiving, 48 million. Marriage ceremony support, 17 million. So in all these that he has stated, what he's trying to say is that we shouldn't just make it look as if it's a social media issue. Now, we all have priorities, and there are things that people actually give priorities to. But at the same time, also, we cannot run away from the fact that some of these governors look for easy way to actually put in money into their pocket. Because there are ways you can say, okay, like one of the most easiest way for you to steal in government now is for you to say, okay, you're doing school feeding programs. Because, you know, will you go and get the children and then open their belly and see how much they've eaten? So, like the issue of mass wedding, the issue of putting up infrastructure in church, in mosques, is not bad. But then, we cannot also run away from the fact that education is also important. But in the same sense, we can also say that morality is not also good. Who are the people that actually champion morality in our society?
Just like you said, the prof said earlier on, the truth is, 2 wrongs doesn't make it right.
Doesn't make it right.
As long as it makes it to social media, all this one that the southern governors too are doing, if it makes it to social media, definitely they're going to face backlash. Just even this backlash now, they're just facing backlash. It doesn't mean that it's going to stop them from doing what they want to do.
And let me take his last statement. Sorry, just cutting you there. Let me take his last statement. While state in the south is spending money on burial, another state in the north is spending money on marriage. What's then your headache? That's one. Now, finally, he said, personally, I felt the most of these spendings from the south to the north can be misplaced priorities as we have infrastructures to build, human power and capacity to develop, and so on. But we should not see it as a problem of one region and term them unsociable. And this is actually my point.
Yes.
Because there's something that the media does. The media try as much as possible to beat up situations,
Yes.
and beat up issues, and then make it look like a northern southern thing. One is educated, one is not
governance
educated,
thing.
and then the issue of governance and the rest. We understand that yes, we are having problem, socioeconomic problem across board. Look, I've stayed in so many parts of this country, and I can tell you that if you go to some local government in some places, even in the south, you want to shed tears.
It's actually everywhere. Like, in all honesty, there are sometimes you see some local government, or you go to some local government, you wonder that, are you still in the same state? With the publicity they have on the media, you expect that, oh, it should be 100%.
You know, like recently I was in Zaria, and I asked myself, look, there are some state capital in this in Nigeria that is not as better as Zaria. I mean, state capitals of states.
Yeah.
The development you see in Zaria, which is a local government, is better than the development you see in some state capital. Because of the access road, they have the educational facilities, they have the health, the primary health centers that they have. So you start questioning yourself. So for me, it's an issue of how are our leaders actually built? What are the kind of orientation? But mind you, the other time we were having this conversation like this, I did say something that most of our leaders in this country are actually people who lack what they call leadership skills. Yes. They are mainly thugs. How did they assume that role of leadership? It is thugs. How did they win their election? It is through thuggery and using of violence to be able to achieve that position. So when you have people like that in the helm of affair, what do you expect from them? Yeah. So for all these governors that you see, they believe that they bought it. They believe it is time for them to recoup their money. And mind you, we are in 2025.
Some of them feel like that's what the mass that put them in place wants. So governance sometimes is, you should lead these people. That's why you are a leader. Now, so some of them feel like, here, they're succumbing to what these people put them in place to do. That is why they're actually going to do this, because most of the time when we look at what some of these governors do, they're trying to build legacy for their next seat so that they win the next election coming.
And so the easiest way for the easy conduit pipes that they have, a project like this, actually.
Yes, actually.
Because you cannot say, oh, let me go and check all the 700 women that I engaged them with, a man and the rest. Let me go and check the furniture that I did. Some of them, maybe the furnitures are even, are not actually, they are vague. Some of them, they don't have these facilities that they actually provide. So, but then we will also encourage a situation where actually people get married, whether we like it or not, than having so many singles on the street. And then
we encourage people getting married, but the problem now is on government funds, on something that can be used for something else, like taking out, like now we can have a proper, we know Almajiri meaning as turn into something else. That is not what Almajiri means. So now we can have a proper Almajiri system for this out of school children, because whether we like it or not, sooner or later they will actually become a big problem to the society.
And that's where government still comes in, whether we like it or not. Why we use our common sense to address our problem. Mind you, this money is taxpayers' money. Yes. That's why. The people decide how this money should be spent, or the government decide how this money is going to be spent. That's true. But at the same time, again, it is the responsibilities of the governors to actually put their heads together to see that they draft in policies that will actually kick against this Almajiri system. They know what they are doing. Nigerians know what they are doing. A serious governor, a serious government will not allow a system whereby people will actually you shouldn't be able to eat more than you can chew. So those are the questions. So if for a common man, for a man that has his senses, will know that, okay, if this happened, what are the tendency that I'm going to be able to cater for all this? I can't be earning 5 naira and then I should have so much to cater, from the issue of health to education. And education, Islamic or Western.
Yes.
The major thing is that you have children that are morally upright in the society. So that's what we're actually kicking against. And on this, we end the social media segment, and then we quickly move to the newspaper segment. But that will be coming shortly after the break. Welcome back from that mild break. And just before the break, we just have a mild conversation on what is actually happening and how the government are actually thinking. How can we better our system if we continue in this manner? For many of them, they carry out some easy projects, and that way they can be able to ferret money for themselves, but the detriment of who? The citizens who actually, or the residents who actually voted them into power. So the next election will actually tell us more about how we determine who leads us. But then, let us quickly take some review or preview of some of our newspaper. And on starting today, we'll be starting with Punch newspaper. And on the Punch newspaper, we have on the headline, Dangote price slash, marketers with imported fuel, marketers with imported fuel, fear losses. And if that's the headline this morning.
Dangote and NNPC these days, like at this point, the PR, back-to-back PR they've been doing, the both of them. Like yesterday, I watched like a very well detailed PR advert of NNPC. I'm like, I've never actually got to see that NNPC is taking so much time to advertise their fuel like this, and with the Dangote, because just last week the marketers said no, they can't buy from him, they prefer to import, and now he's doing everything to just make sure that you buy my fuel. Like Nigerians must buy my fuel, buy from me, and I can see that. I like the healthy competition that they have right now, because it's actually putting Dangote in check, and it's also putting NNPC in check as well, because the marketers are definitely going to go for the one that favors them, the one that are going to profit, because everybody at the end of the day we run business because of profit. So as the marketers that were dishing him, saw that there is need for him to actually slash his price and bring it down, and he has actually done that. And Nigerians have actually come to say that the Dangote fuel is a bit better. It doesn't
well, you are
faster.
making publicity for him.
No, okay.
So definitely, I believe Dangote has actually settled you for that. But then, still on this particular issue, the marketers with imported fuel fear losses, because now, if you remember last week, they actually said the NNPCL and then the marketers that they are going to import more fuel. And with this now, if they have actually paid for that particular fuel, and then they are now coming to meet a Dangote refinery that already has a very good MOU with MRS and is it Iden? I forgot about 3 other marketers, distributors of this fuel. You discover that it will be a very huge loss for them. And I'm happy that the Dangote refinery is taking this particular cue. But in situations like this, we've also seen situations like this in the past or in our local market, where you see a major producer of a particular produce, he knows he has competitors, and then try as much as possible to bring down his price to the barest minimum. So the other competitors will say, oh, please come and buy from us, come and buy from us. And then they buy, the major producer of that particular produce will buy all the goods from the other marketers. I don't need from other producers. So now he now has enough, and then you now shoots up his price, and then that is very, very good. That's a very, very huge one for the Dangote refinery. And then still on it, we have why banks cannot lift order the freezing GSL account. That's more a bit of technical. We shouldn't delve into something that is too technical. There are so much to discuss on this particular issue, actually. Electricity tariff hike looms as federal government plans to end subsidy. Which subsidy are they ending?
I don't understand. Is there a subsidy on the electricity?
That's the question I should be asking you.
Because that was actually one of the things that trended over the weekend on social media, because many are actually confused, because we remember when this band A, band B drama came. Like right now we're buying 1 unit for 250, and like 1,000 naira gives you 4 units. And we're still saying that you want to hike the price and subsidy. So Nigerians have been asking, which subsidy again? Like, haven't the subsidy on electricity been removed already? Because we don't understand where this is coming from again. And it's actually going to even be ×2 right now. Like, we're going to be increased times. So I'm wondering, what else do you want from us at this point? Because the policies
are we being skinned alive?
Because we don't understand. Like, every day we wake up, there is one government policy or the other that is just definitely going to make us wonder, what exactly are we doing?
For me, it is high time we start looking at some of these issues, and it's very, very bad that we are still actually sleeping in this country. For me, that's my perspective. For me, that's my belief, that we are still actually sleeping, because you can't be skinning people alive. You can't ask somebody to give more than what you've actually given as a government. What has the government provided? We have one of the highest number of unemployed youth in the country, in the world. We have a very high amount of mortality rate in the country. When it comes to healthcare, we have it very, very poor. When it comes to good road infrastructure, we have it very, very poor. When it comes to insecurity, we are one of the highest and well known globally for Boko Haram and banditry. So in this particular case, why are you now increasing the suffering of the people?
It's actually really crazy because even the some governors are yet to even pay the minimum wage of the 70,000 naira, and every day we wake up there's one hike going on that the government is actually trying to put in place. But this now they're saying they want to put it in place. Will it actually come true? Because over time they just impose things on us, and Nigerians, we don't know that. Let's just accept it, and that has actually been what has been going on. So this time around, we hope this electricity tariff actually doesn't get to pass.
Well, I hope, because there's so money that is being made in that particular ministry, and so much had actually happened in that particular ministry. If you remember, Nigerians have actually grown with respect to the rate of power outage in the country. Last year alone, we have over 20 times we had this issue of
national grid collapse.
national grid collapse. Nigeria have been growing, and this year also we've actually witnessed it in some part of the FCT.
Like,
we've witnessed
people actually even raising the concerns. Like, some of us might not be able to relate because probably we're in an area, an environment that we have light variable. Seeing people still complaining about blackout, like, why are you charging us this high when we don't even have this light regularly? It's actually crazy because on my end I do have lights, yes, but seeing people still raising the concerns that they don't even have this light regular, and it's so sad that some of them are not using meter, some of them still use the normal system that you are not bringing light. By the end of the month, you are bringing bill for me to pay.
That tells you the level of corruption in the country. And I think the EFCC chairman, they said something, I can't actually gauge it now, but I remember it on Friday, where he was raising question about who we are actually worshipping in this country. We worship the corrupt people, those in government that are actually corrupt. We protect them. We give them all sorts of coverage just because they are maybe from our tribe, our region, of our religion. And for that sake, you remember when he came into office, he said, look, there's a particular religious house in Nigeria that is one of the most corrupt, and is also part of those who are actually sponsoring the unrest we're having in this country. So it tells us the kind of people we are, how disconnected we are as humans. You cannot imagine us going through all this kind of pain, and then you are now talking about one subsidy or the other that we don't even know much about. But then still, so much to actually discuss. And still on the Punch newspaper, we have NCDC tightens airport surveillance as Uganda battles Ebola.
Ebola is back.
So with this now that we are facing possible increase in tariff, you are not telling Ebola now is now coming. So how do we now survive? What does the leadership of this country actually want from us?
At this point, we don't even know, in all honesty, because it just seems like what?
And just like we discussed earlier on, the issue of this Ebola as outbreak in Uganda has actually spoiled so much, so many African countries. And just remember, the world is actually in a trying time, most especially with the withdrawal of the United States government from World Health Organization. And looking at this particular news, so many will be disturbed because we are not actually done yet, done with the issue of the HIV impediment that we are having. Looking at the cost of that particular antiretroviral drugs, with the withdrawal of the United States, will definitely cost so much. And now we are having Ebola.
Actually bad because it's actually a good thing that the NCDC are already tightening the borders, because Dr. Stella paid the price for us when she took it upon herself not to make the virus spread across Nigeria. And right now Nigeria can't survive another pandemic, and that's the truth. And we can't survive another viral disease coming in and just taking the lives of our people. So it's a good thing, and not just strengthening the borders right now. Policies should also be put in place to actually, and there should also be a whole lot of awareness going on right now that Ebola is back, and so people can actually take precautions themselves personally, and since they are aware that it's back in town too, so everyone can be careful. And because whether people are traveling, people are going to these countries and they're coming back, so that we can actually prevent ourselves and our loved ones from it as well.
Well, if Ebola is back, I don't know how we are going to actually deal with so much on our table or on our decks. We hope that it doesn't actually enter Nigeria, and that's a very good measure taken by the NCDC, Center for Disease Control, and that's a very good one, and we applaud your effort. So it's still on the Punch newspaper. We have, I believe, Ladoja has information on Bola Ige's murder. That's by BC Akonde, the former governor of Osun State, when he was interviewed by one of the journalists, getting more information about how he played a major role in the ascension to power by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And then he did actually roll out some issues, some very, very controversial issues. One of the most controversial issues is this particular one that is actually taking the lead on the front page of Punch newspaper. I believe Ladoja has information on Bola Ige's murder. And the death of Bola Ige is something that so many Nigerians were actually shocked about. And it has actually affected the political terrain in the country. He was the Attorney General of the Federation as at then.
At the time,
and if we continue
on this pedestal, definitely we'll get to unravel it. But I don't know why. Is it that the case was stopped or something? But I believe there are so much issue shrouding that particular death of his.
This our elder sometimes. I just really hope that is not throwing allegations.
These our
elders sometimes. Yeah, because honestly speaking, Bola Ige's death was actually very, after that of Abiola, Bola Ige's death is actually one of the deaths that eats the Southwest so much. And you can't just come around here and say someone like Ladoja. Ladoja also is actually a leader
in the South.
Yes, he's an elder statesman in the Southwest. So you can't just come out and say something like this. I really just hope Ladoja gets to respond and this is actually cleared. If Atoy actually knows anything about the Bola Ige's death, then he should come out and say something, because the mystery wasn't actually unraveled.
But don't you think BC Akonde also knows something about it?
That was it.
Because for him to say that Ladoja said,
so when Ladoja responds now, when Ladoja responds, the fire to fire will start, and then any other thing that they're hiding is actually going to start. The cat will actually be let out of the bag at the end of the day.
So that's our hope, that we get to actually finish this particular issue, just like the Abiola issue that has actually taken much of Nigerians' time, and then we have the Ken Saro-Wiwa, so much death that is actually covered or shrouded in a very bad manner.
And we're not solved.
So let's just quickly take a look at the other dailies that we have on the table, and that is the Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper, on the front page there we have presidency to Atiku, El-Rufai, Obi, others. We will meet in 2027. No disruptive. APC says also just a mild one there from the Nation newspaper. They're stating that no alternative to APC, says Masari, while opposition leaders can't be president by Lukman.
The confidence of the presidency, I like it. We will meet in 2027. That's a huge one from them. Like the confidence is there.
Yeah, I think Sonny Daria was the one that actually put out that particular statement, which the presidency actually telling Atiku El-Rufai will be ordered. Well, irrespective of how politicians fight, you must also understand that they are one family.
Yes.
No matter how you see them, you see all these things are very, very cheap for them. They know Nigerians, they can actually sway Nigeria
do you
towards
even
this,
really think they
towards that.
fight, or this is just a media buzz?
Well, for me, I think it is just like with the same way the colonial masters carried out their activities, the same way our leaders or our political leaders, elite, are actually carrying out their activities also. Is a bit of the cake is big still, so why will you take the chunk? Why will you take half of it?
Yeah.
So that's, for me, that has actually been the major focus of these politicians, because if they are actually sincere in terms of their leadership style, should we still be complaining about the cost of food? Should we still be talking about the level of unemployment? Should we still be talking about every aspect of the economy that is beneficial to the citizens should be taken away from them? So how do you want them to survive? That is the question, because it is the same set of people. Yes, Atiku was there in between 1999 to 2007 as the vice president. We had an El-Rufai who 22 years ago was actually a cabinet minister during this particular period of Atiku. And then we had an Obi who was actually the governor for 8 years in Anambra State. So you start questioning yourself, is the same set of people that are actually still leading us
of power
for over 2 decades now? They've been leading us. But have we actually seen that transformation we expect as Nigeria? Have we ever felt it?
No.
Was there a time you benefited from the presidency program, from your state governor's program? Have you felt that major impact? Yes, this is the reason why
I felt a major impact when El-Rufai was the minister of FCT.
Of FCT?
Yes.
Your house was demolished?
No,
was that the impact?
No, I felt a positive impact, actually. The education
No, impact
system,
can be two-way, yeah. That's good.
So the positive impact of El-Rufai being the minister of FCT. At that time, I was in school, so we part of the people that then, I don't know if it's still ongoing, the free education system in government school at that time. So, and it was a good one. And we in Abuja at that time, we know that our road network, El-Rufai started it, so yeah. Okay,
that's a very good one. Commendation, you are commending El-Rufai now. Know that El-Rufai is now, he said that the train, or is it the car, or the cab, whatsoever he called it, he termed it as that is running faster than him. So his ideology of what APC, why they formed APC, seemed to be neglected, according to him, to fight corruption, to deal with issue of food insecurity. And I think 3 items he mentioned, and he said he's still part of those. Yes. And he said those are still the problem that they are facing. And he shielded. No, let me not say he shielded. I would say that he actually sent a black PR when it comes to the issue of APC. Stating that it is not even an issue of a one-man show. It is a zero-man show. So invariably, nobody is in control.
You know, the crazy thing sometimes why we citizens don't take these people serious is that we know that you are in power. Things are going wrong, you don't say anything. Then the minute you leave power, you suddenly have solutions to all the problems we are facing in the country. So that's why people, sometimes when people coming from the social media angle, you see people say, we can't take you serious because you've been in office. If that these ideas are coming from people they've never been in office, you understand that, oh, these people are having visions and the rest. But you've been there. You have the solutions to this problem. Why didn't you solve it then at that time? You've been given the opportunity to. And now it's on El-Rufai angle, it's looking like, oh, because he's not part of this administration, that's why he's having so many things to say. Because if he was part of this administration, will he be saying that? That has been
and that is where I actually draw so much questions from. Because one way or the other, El-Rufai's hand is deep into this particular government. In the sense that, number one, at the point it was not in tandem with the president, then President-elect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he kicked against him in Lagos. He said that Nigeria is not Lagos, where one man controls everything. And then later on, he twisted politician. That's one aspect of politics. He twisted, and then he made sure that the 19 northern governors, 17 plus Abuja 19. 19 other governors, okay, plus Abuja 3. So he said that the whole of the governors, it pushed them to actually accept President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yeah, because I remember saying
as a consensus candidate. I remember Governor Yabelo kicked against that particular consensus. And he actually went into the primaries. And Yabelo was actually angry. He for you and your to give him support because he is from the north, and most especially from the north central, where we've not actually benefited more from the movement of leadership from the south to the west. For Yabelo, it was about why is it that it is difficult for us to zone this thing to the north central? Why is it that people from North Central cannot actually lead the country? Must it be always through the military route? No. Let us have a government whereby even the North Central can actually have a say. And he was actually right to an extent. And then the governors actually said, no, let us give it to the South now. Let us all support the South. And then El-Rufai moved in with some governors and then they supported President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Mind you, as at then, there was a serious brainstorm for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu towards the election. The issue of the APC national chairman, Adamu, the one former governor of Nasarawa State, who kicked against him indirectly, stating it even on the public space. And also, not just that one, Ahmed Lawan actually later came in. So look at the battle. He was battling with Osibanjo's issue, battling with Ahmed Lawan's issue. So many issues he was battling. But at the end of the APC came as one to actually give him support. He won the election. And now we are now saying that they're still in the APC, still all is not actually well.
Yeah, just like the presidency already said, like they're so confident that we'll meet you all in 2027. Like I said, I like that confidence. Like it's so much like.
Okay, it's just 2 years from now.
It's not so far anymore.
It's not so far. So and mind you, to happen, I think within the first quarter of 2027.
It will even start. The process will start
because we've started seeing the bickering
congression and everything.
Convention. We're seeing PDP actually in disarray still till this moment. SDP seems to be a bit one of the lights that they are actually looking out for. SDP has actually played a major role because we know one of the senators in Nasarawa State is an SDP, and there was a major contest also in Kogi State where you also have an SDP. So SDP is actually gaining that ground. But recently, I think the SDP chairman Gabam was actually, I think, called for questioning, and he has actually alleged fear that why is it that Nigerians are, why is it that now the government is actually facing him that he has not actually given them more problem. But then still so much to actually discuss on this particular phase of the nation. So let us quickly take the other aspect of it. Not GHL this time. Let's just take up there why banks cannot comply with other lifting restrictions on GHL. I think this issue is actually it was in the first of the newspaper. It has to do with Obaibena, the owner of Arise Television and First Bank. So much is actually happening between these two agencies, or let me say institutions. Sorry, I mean to say not agencies this time. Private issues in this industrial technological world that we have. The issue of Obaibena and that of First Bank is a major one. For them, you've collected loan. You have to return back what you. But for him, I think he's having a case. Mind you, he's the owner of Arise Television and also this day newspaper. So for me, I believe there is so much politics behind this thing because when this issue started, we have Femi Otedola meeting with the president, and for him to have met with for him to have met with the president, it means there is so much behind the scene. That we are
there was an allegation of what you used the money for. That's one aspect of it.
Number two is that it could be Arise TV. Many of Nigerians have actually known Arise TV to be anti-government policies, and they've actually kicked against.
Will we say anti-government or anti-APC?
Well, APC is in government.
Yeah, so
it's an anti-government kind of station. So it could be that is another way to actually fight him out.
Sure.
And just beneath that, we have Ohando's turnover rises to 4.1 trillion naira. 30 die in Ondo Road accident. So many deaths this year.
With the deaths, what's the cause of the deaths?
I believe it was as a result of road accidents, not the same tanker explosion like we had in another.
But that means something is wrong with the road. It's a bad road or something.
Well, I saw, was it some days back? Well, Shehu Sani actually posted something, which is very, very correct. For the past 10 years, why is it that all the roads that leads to Abuja are not actually fixed? And it could also be as a result of that we're actually having more death. Now, if you are coming from the southwest, you pass through Lokoja axis, the road is bad to Abuja. If you are coming from the southeast, you pass through their own axis, on the Chinese axis, the road is bad.
bad.
If you are coming from the north, you pass through Kaduna,
Kaduna, like,
the road is
especially
bad.
the Kaduna,
If you are
because
coming
from
from
that, Kaduna to Zaria has a very good road.
Kaduna to Zaria, and
But
that
when you
that
once
happened.
you come
That
there, you're
happened
coming to
towards the tail
Abuja.
end of President Muhammadu Buhari, and I
Yeah.
think Obasani and the former Minister of Finance actually pushed that. At some point, remember, they said it was as a result of bandits.
Bandits,
Julius Berger could not
yes.
finish the road, and I think the leadership in the north, most especially those from Kaduna, they stated that, look, we don't want to know what's happening between Abuja and Kaduna. All we want fixed between Kaduna and Zaria. So they moved most of their heavy duty equipment down to that axis, and that road was actually finished.
Okay.
But from Abuja itself
To Kaduna,
is a hell.
nothing to
You
write
won't
home
go
about.
to, you fly that
we keep
route
thanking
and
God
come back
for
with your car in a very healthy
place
condition.
at all.
And that is how far we can go on the nation this morning. And still discussing national issues. Let's quickly take the next newspaper, and we have the Daily Trust. And on the Daily Trust this morning, let me start not with the leading story, but then just at the left-hand corner of it, still on that same story.
Yeah,
30 dead, 2 injured in Ondo auto crash. So it's a very huge one
Huge one.
for Daily
For
Trust.
30 people to
die.
Is it brake
but
failure?
the funny thing is that so much details will be in it, and the funny thing is that, do we actually care about life in this
country, honestly, because every day when you just come on the news and it's like, it just keeps ringing like a number. Like, then you come to think about it, that 30 lives we're talking about here. These are not animals.
So it tells us about how we are as humans. Because I was having a conversation, I think I raised that issue here some weeks back or some days back. One of the major reasons for me why I don't actually love Lagos, not that I can't stay in Lagos, but one of the major reasons why I don't actually fancy even staying in Lagos, is because there seems to be a kind of human disconnect. We were talking about money the other day. Everybody is about money. People want to do everything to get money. People want to do everything to survive because of money. And at the end of the day, there is a disconnect, a human disconnect between my feelings and you. How I feel, that courtship that we have to, okay, let this family visit this one, let this one visit this one. Let there be that human feeling. People don't actually feel any sense of it again. That's why you see, when people don't feel like that,
one
they
man
go
business right now.
Yes.
Well, I think, but this aspect, well, like everybody doing my family and
my business,
let me mind my business. It's okay. It happens in Lagos here, but even in Abuja, is it not happening?
No, in Abuja it is still a bit better.
Do you really think it's a bit
the
better
reason why
here?
I tell you why is because I've experienced that of Lagos.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that Abuja here is a bit better. Abuja here you still have
rural
communities.
You live in an estate. Some people don't even know their neighbors.
But then if you look at it, if you compare it, you discover that Lagos alone have about 21 local government. If you look at the LCDs, over 40.
Okay.
And the LCDs are actually developed.
Yeah.
In Abuja here, you can go to Buari, and then you go to some places, you see them, they are still using mud houses.
Yeah.
If you go towards Kwali, Abaji, and the rest, you still see that natural family African kind of upbringing.
Yeah, true.
You understand? It is only
People
when you come to even in Amak, the Abuja municipal area, there are places you still go to, you still see villages and the rest.
Homes, yeah.
So there's that relationship, that human kind of feeling that is still there. It is not, it has not faded. But in Lagos, it is almost not there. People don't care.
Everybody's about the hustle and
people
the buzz.
don't care. It is either you are in it, you are looking for it, or you are not looking for it.
Yeah.
And that is why you see the level of ritualist is high there. In Lagos, I am telling you, in the morning you can be on your way from Apapa as if you are going towards Ikeja or Maryland. You just see a dead body lying fallow on the road.
Wow.
People don't care. So these are some of the issues. Unfortunately, we've started experiencing something like that in Abuja.
Yeah.
So that's to tell you that it is actually trickling in.
Yeah.
But then that's one of the role of our parents, number one. Number two, of our religious leaders, to actually put more empathy in us, so that we can actually have that ties of being together. But when that disconnect is there, my sister, you won't enjoy it.
Right,
You won't enjoy
yeah.
it. So still on the daily trust this
Daily
morning,
trust.
and let's quickly look at one aspect of the daily trust, which has to do with NLC nationwide strike against tariff against is it telcos tariff hike and error. That's stakeholders.
Telcos,
So the NLCs, they are planning
telecommunicator.
to go for strike.
Honestly, because actually we were talking about hike the other time and we left out the telecommunication hike too.
Aspect.
So everybody now we are having telecommunication hike to face amidst all of the ones we faced in the past, and even electricity, future electricity hike, because it's future, because we pray this tariff hike on this electricity doesn't see the light of the day. But that of the NLC, it has been passed already and it has been approved, because the Minister of Communication, Bosun Tijani, already said he has approved 50% tariff increment. So we just really hope the NLC can fight this. They've actually done that before, and really hope this time around we actually get to fight this battle to the end.
Still on the Nation newspaper, we still have oil marketers now loading petrol from Port Harcourt, Warri refinery. What is actually happening?
I said it now that NNPC and Dangote is PR for PR, back to back. With the highest bidder win. That's the this thing right now, because
The issue of because now we have an NNPC that actually wants to bring in foreign fuel into the country. They want to import fuel into the country. That way, they are going to reduce the activities in the state and the rest of it like that, to see that yes, petroleum marketers can actually get it cheaper. But then we've seen Dangote reducing the cost of fuel to less than 800, less than 900 naira.
895.
So in this particular case now, what will NNPC do? They have it at 965. Will they also reduce it if they are actually importing a very cheaper fuel? But then still on the daily trust, we have Muslims in Southwest have right to set up Sharia panels. But before we take that, we'll go on a very mild break to get one of our stakeholder, a major anchor with us here, back to the studio. So let us quickly go for this break. still on the issue of the Daily Trust newspaper, we have joining us now is one of our co-hosts, in person of Abraham. I believe he's actually feeling the heat this morning. I can still see him sweating despite the AC being on. Abraham, is it because they've actually planned to increase the tariff or remove the subsidy from the electricity that is actually making you to be a bit
That's
fizzled?
why I was sweating.
That's the question, because many Nigerians are actually sweating, so yours is not actually fake. You are probably telling
Well,
Nigerians that you're also part of those
yes,
feeling the
we are
heat.
Nigerians, so we are feeling the heat, but we'll get out of it. It's just a matter of time.
Okay, let me quickly take back Anifa, still on you. Muslims in Southwest have right to set up Sharia panels. That's Jamaat Nasrul Islam stating that on Daily Trust, just part of the headlines, but at the bottom of it.
And yes, that's our Muslims. Like the Sharia law, is actually for the Muslims alone. So if the Muslim feels like, oh, I'm going through this, I want to go the Sharia way, yes, they have every right, because I'm a Muslim. You are not imposing. This is the law I know. This is the law I should be governed with. Like I should be judged with too. On the other hand, if it's not me versus the state, yeah. So Sharia law, we have every right. If I'm in the Southwest and I feel like, oh, I should I'm to face a partner and I want it to be Sharia, then I have every right to say I want to face the Sharia law. So I'm still confused. Honestly, I don't understand why people are kicking against it, because this law is actually just for the Muslims. You are not a Muslim, you don't have anything to worry about. So why are you just still kicking against it? I still don't get it in that
Okay,
aspect.
Abraham, still on it. The Muslims in Southwest have right to set up Sharia panels. If you this has actually generated so much
So
news,
much.
because if you look at the issue of this lady lawyer who was actually done in hijab, I remember then,
Firdaus.
Firdaus, and then she won the case actually at the end of the day. And also at some point in Lagos State, I remember even in Lagos State, my secondary school was then. You can't actually go to school with the hijab on. And then people have actually said this is actually a breach of the fundamental right of every citizen. You have rights. There are certain inalienable rights that you have, and you should be able to express yourself, not just by speaking alone. The kind of things you do, the freedom that you have as a citizen should actually still also take part in your life. But then we've seen restrictions. So many people actually calling that no, there's no need for Sharia court in the Southwest. And just recently, we saw the former Minister of Communication, Shitu, Honorable Shitu, actually saying that no, they are Muslims. You cannot get married using the Islamic law, and then you have a marital issue, and then you are not taking it to the conventional court. There are conditions attached to the Sharia courts that, okay, this is how it is. And one other aspect again is when a man dies, for instance, and then the properties need to be shared, there are procedures, there are calculations involved in it that we may not have in our constitution. So these are some of the issues that actually has been going around. So what are
Yes,
your thoughts on it?
Isa, you see, like for me, I grew up in Zaria, and I have seen all this Sharia issue. I grew up in Zaria, and I think about 30% of people in Zaria are Christians. But you could see that even when they do uh, the Sharia law and all that, people who are Christians and non-Christians and those who don't practice Islam were exempted. We've seen the case in Katsina, in Zamfara, and all that. So for me, I want to say this is just a political gimmicks that we normally see from these politicians. Once it's not favoring them, once it's not in their side, they always want to make it look as if the world wants to come down. But what I want to believe is there's a law. And what does the law say? Let's go back to the law and let the law do it bidding in this case. Because for the governor, he just have those numbers of days to go. So maybe he's just trying to like bring up a lot of issues. Are you getting it? But for me, I think they should give him what the law said about Sharia law and the conventional law. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Then from there, they should be able to say, okay, this is what the law says. Because for him to have his way is not going to be possible. We have a lot of Christians in Kaduna, and then we still have the Sharia law. So for this one, I'm not in the side of every governor from the Southwest that is bringing this opposition. But what we are saying is, let the law take its course. Let it be so plain. Let the people understand. It's just like the tax bill that you see. A lot of people didn't understand the goodness and the bad side of it. But when the whole process start coming up, a lot of the governors start imbibing by this. So I want this same thing that happened with the tax fund reform should go also with this one, because it's not the governors that will face the rot. That is my problem. You see, when these issues start coming up and it's turning to riot or it's turning to violence, it's the common man on the street that will suffer it. So I want to call on the president, who is a Muslim and married to a Christian, should also tell them that, look, oh, for me, I've been a Muslim for some time, and my wife has been a Christian for some time, and then we had no issues. But we have been practicing it because we all know the possibilities of all this. So what I'm saying is, please, the president should call the Southwest governors to order, because this thing is not going to affect only the common, the people in power. Normally is those people who are going for their daily needs, going to get their daily bread. They are the one to be affected, because we know how this whole thing happened in Kaduna. When the Sharia law come up in Kaduna, we know how many people lost their life, lost their properties, because there was no good information. Until when the lives were killed, that is when the government came up with a lot of solutions. So we don't want this to happen in Southwest. They should call the governors to order, because if this thing should happen, the people that will suffer is the people that go about looking for their daily needs. They don't go to the government house to challenge the governor. They don't go to the state assembly to challenge the National Assembly members. So what I'm saying is, the people should stand their way. They should stand on their ground. They should make it very clear. Like the man in Murik, I think he's a lawyer. Huh?
Yeah.
These are people that should make it very plain, very clear. The problem we're having is we have a lot of animosity, and you keep things to yourself. Come out, tell Nigerians, tell the Southerners, okay, this is why we want to do this. This is why we want to do it. For somebody like my friend here, Hanifa. Hanifa is a Muslim, and then you could see she's looking very pretty, looking good in this her attire. You could see the Muslim aspect of it. I getting it. So what we're saying is, we want an aspect where you could give people the benefit of right. People have the right to their religion. People have right to their information. People have right to say what they believe and what they don't believe. Because what we have been having issues in this country is because some people feel the moment we have our own way, we will have it all to ourselves. And it's taking us backward.
And let me just come in here. I'm just going through today on the Nigerian Tribune. One of the columnists, in person of Lasisi Olagunju, did state it in the first paragraph. He did state that each time we hear or read outsiders say they are fighting for Yoruba Muslims, some of us laugh. Yoruba Muslims. Who told them that we cannot fight our war ourselves? If there is a war, a statement signed by an Imam, Harun Muhammad Eze, on behalf of the Nigerian Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs, led by the Sultan of Sokoto, alleged that last week that Yoruba Muslims were suffering marginalization in Yoruba land. The statement headline, "Live and Let Live," complained about what it called calculated attempt to prevent Muslims in Southwest region for practicing their faith. I read it and asked myself if that is truly true, if that truly was the case. I asked someone of my Muslim friends also. We compared notes and laughed. Because the issue, I think for one reason why this issue is actually coming up is because number one, before the issue of the lady lawyer, who actually won a case in court. Growing up in the Southwest, I've seen so many occasions whereby the moment you are heading towards the school, as you get close to the school, you are asked to actually you have to remove your hijab, and then you go in. At some point, even in my school, my school, you have to, as a female, you don't have to, you have to barb, you have to make sure your hair is on low cut, no plaiting of hair. It was when I came to the north, I saw that people can actually go to the school with their hair actually plaited. So these are some of the issues, and that actually that was early 2000, and that actually generated into so much noise that look, can't we actually practice our religion? Because should school tell us what religion we have to practice? So there was this bickering amongst Muslims. Unfortunately for me, actually, I led the Muslim group, that's the Muslim Student Society, MSS, in my junior secondary school. And the funny thing is that this junior secondary school is a United Christian Senior Secondary School.
Yeah.
It's a missionary school in Apapa. So in that school, we had the Muslim Student Society.
Yes.
So it tells you that in some aspect, you discover that some people are actually pushing a narrative which we don't actually like. Now, we must come out clear and state it. Everybody have right. If you want to become a Gbogbo Nishe man, you go and become a Gbogbo. If you want to serve whatever you want to serve. Like recently, I was discussing with somebody, he said he's in his own, he has something he worships. And I said, well, that's fine for you. If you believe in that, it is your own cup of tea.
Let me just tell you one recent event that happened. You see, I'm a Christian, and my sister got fell in love with Islam, and then gradually, we don't know that she was practicing it secretly. And then not until a day came and my late sister said, don't you know that Sister Mary, that was what we call her then, but when she converted, she just make it more like a Mariam. So now what happened is that we said, okay, now that she's converted, what happened? Do you know that a lot of people that were our far cousins, people that never come to us, when our dad died and all that, they start bringing issues because she want to convert and do what she feels she have peace with. And I told them, I said, look, for this one, I am not on your side. I am on the side of good. For this lady, let her practice what she want to practice. The day she want to die, the day my daddy died, the day my sister died, the day my elder brother died, nobody stood behind the grave with them. They died alone. So I want to assure you that if she take it to the grave. If she die alone. This is what she feel comfortable with. Allow her, let her practice it. And then it went for a long time. And at the end of it, everybody felt, well, it is your right. It is her right. And then the people that don't normally go to her house, now they go for Salah, they go to collect, they go to collect. And they were like, wow, if this is how the Muslim preaches, then Muslim is quite good. Because she always do what other people don't do in time, because she knows that this is what the rules tell her. So what I'm saying is that if we allow ourselves to practice this thing, to understand, like me, the Christian, I have a Quran which is English, and what I do, I read this book every day. You know why I do that? Because when I meet Hanifa, who is a Muslim, and I want to be a friend to Hanifa, I know that this is what a Muslim lady should look like. This is why I need to respect her as a Muslim lady. Though I'm a Christian, but this is my boundary for her as a Muslim. And I meet you, Isa, who is a Muslim, and I want to make some conversation. I know this is where my limit is. It? So these are some of the things we need to educate ourselves.
You know, some people actually don't understand what is right and what is privilege.
Yes, please.
And I think that is one thing that this society that we live in now. I was telling somebody yesterday that, look, okay, we paid someone a visit, and then this person that we paid the visit to offered us water to drink. And after we left, for some 2-3 days after we left that particular environment, the person was hungry that he was not giving canned milk, canned drink.
Can't drink. Okay.
The Coca-Cola, the Pepsi, or he was not giving. That why will he go and pay visit to this person, and then even to get just canned drink, this person cannot give us. And I said, look, it is wrong for you to actually have that expectation. He said, if the person you cannot give us food, at least you should give us. And I said, no, it is wrong. Because for me, the least I expect from anybody is nothing. The least I expect from anybody is water. You understand? Because you don't know the situation of that person as of that particular point in time. The person can come to your house. You offered him goat meat and the rest, CCO and the rest. But you go to his own house. At that instant, do you know the challenges he's facing?
Yeah.
You don't know. So why will you be complaining about something? He said, no, that it is right. I said, no, it is not right for anybody to give you anything when you pay visit. It is a privilege. So you should not take it as a must. And then we had to quarrel over it. I said, no, for me.
No, but no,
I'm okay.
there's something that I come to understand. I watch a lot of Western films,
Yeah.
and you know that
They don't even
you
give
know
you
that
anything. If you are going out,
when you come without their
Their consent.
they'll tell you, okay, we are on the table, but can you sit down and watch television? When we're done, we can meet you later. You know, so these are some of the
maybe
things.
Hanifa is not practicing that.
No,
Hanifa, so that we can come visit and then we eat all the chickens.
If you come to Hanifa house, definitely she will.
Because that has actually been the case. In short, my friend was telling me recently that he was invited for a party in London. He went for the party and he requested for whatsoever he need, and at the end of the day, he ended up paying for it. He was the one actually invited for it. But you pay for what you are invited for. Maybe we start practicing in this economy,
but you see,
in this Tinubu economy. That's what we have to start practicing. If I invite you to my house, make sure you come with your food.
Do you know what? I learned this from the Igbos. You see, the Igbos, you guys they'll call you like, okay, we want to go for a sit out. Do you know the good side about why you see their relationship go very good is that when they come to sit on a round table like this, the Igbo man that called for the meeting, Hanifa, now you call for the meeting. But do you know that every one of us will say, okay, Hanifa, let's contribute to this table.
Yes.
Then, okay, if they bring the bill now, it's 10,000 naira. I will say, okay, Hanifa, I will not even do it like Opuno. I will just put it by your side. Take 2,000 naira. Isa will bring 5,000. And then before you know, it will less your burden. Not that you invited us and everything will be left on you.
You know, that is what, recently, I don't want us to digress much from this particular issue that has to do with the right of people and the rest, which is very, very important. People should be allowed to do to practice. The Christians in the north or anywhere they find themselves should be allowed to actually practice their religion. To you is your religion, and to me is my faith. So every one of us have our own, and we should be allowed. Even the man that feels that, okay, he doesn't believe in what the Christians or the Muslim preaches. Well, on the day of judgment, I will not be standing in for him. He will stand in for himself. So allow him. My problem should not be your problem. And don't carry my own problem on your own head. Allow me to carry my problem myself. I think that is one way we can be. And that's the major reason why that letter was actually tagged, "Leave and let us live." And mind you, there was in Lekki, there was the central mosque in Lekki where they put an inscription, and that actually generates. So if you look at some of the people that are actually raising issues on this, they are the most irreligious set of persons. They don't even believe in God, but they want to take side on God issues. So these are that's how bad our situation is, and we pray that yes, we get over it. Your right ends with you. Another person will actually continue. So let us take the next newspaper on the front line of the next newspaper. If we can just get that quickly, that is Blueprint. On Blueprint, you see presidency to Nigerians on 2027. Ignore opposition spreading ill will against Tinubu. Front page. Atiku, Obi, Kwankwaso, others should drop presidential ambition. Lukman. I don't know. Has
No,
Lukman
that
gone
one,
back?
that one, he's just saying what he want to say.
No, but you know, Lukman was the former NGF
Yes,
leader.
yes.
Nigerian Governors Forum is the person in charge of that particular office. And now Lukman is saying that, look, you people should drop your. Has he gone back? Because before I know he was a bit angry with this
No,
particular
no,
set of.
definitely. Maybe they gave him some brown envelope and all that. But let's what is lobbying for something. But the truth of the matter is that you can't tell anybody not to come out because President Tinubu is doing good or he is doing Nigerian good. The truth of the matter is, when we have a formidable position, yeah,
Yeah.
everybody have the right, because the Constitution said that as far as I, Abraham, feels that me and you, Isa, are not in the same party or even in the same party, but I feel I want to contest the same position with you,
Yeah.
I have the right to come out. The only thing is, when we get to a point, there should be a primaries.
Consensus, yeah,
There should be
primary.
consensus, which the democracy give us that
Mandate, yeah.
mandate to do that. So for anyone to say it, he's just saying it to his own way. But for anybody again to say, okay, like the upper side of it, where they said you should ignore all that, ignore opposition spreading ill will against Tinubu. I feel this is not an, this is, for me, this should not be an issue, because definitely, if you have a formidable opposition, this issue should not be even now. You get it? Because from the day the president come on board, if you have a formidable opposition, they will keep bombarding the presidency. They will keep checking everything they say they want to do. That is opposition that want to work. But for them to come out now, yeah, for them to make it look as if it's because of 2027 they are doing this. That's why the party in power is making it look as if they are fighting for 2027. But if truly they are for Nigerians and they want to do this for Nigerians, they should have started this opposition thing right from the day the president took in. Look at what is happening in America. Do you know that somebody just came up from the Democrat and he told Trump to his face that, look, you can't stop people not coming to America and give birth to children. You cannot do this. You cannot humiliate people because they come to your country. They have the right because the Constitution gives them the right. And he showed him that, look, for this one, we, the Democrats, will not give you that space. That is formidable opposition. But for you to stand and you said the president should be left, why will you leave him? Why will you leave him when you have a minister that is in power, that is a purely politician, have nothing to do with electricity, and Nigerians are suffering with electricity, and you are telling me to leave the president? Is it with the killings that is happening all over the country? When we have a formidable opposition, this will not even come up. Oh my goodness.